P-A-N-I-M-E-N-T.
That's correct. That's the correct spelling of accompaniment. Good for 5 points for Clewiston. Again for 5, those who lived through World War II are familiar with the term Axis powers. Japan would later be included in the term, but originally, to what countries do they refer? Clewiston and Derek.
Germany and Italy?
That is correct. Germany and Italy. Get 5 points on the board for Clewiston. Who was the ruler of the Mongol dynasty who ruled China from 1279 north and Chris?
Genghis Khan?
That is incorrect. We will go to Clewiston and finish it for you. Or not. Derek?
Kublai Khan?
That's correct for 5 points. Ruled China from 1279 to 1368 and who established his capital in present-day Beijing. 5 for Clewiston, 20 to 15, they have the lead. Which of these is usually for the shortest period of time? Charter, permit, lease, or franchise? North Fort Myers and Mike.
Lease?
That is wrong. Sorry. For Clewiston only? And Derek?
A permit?
Permit is right. 5 more for Clewiston. Shakespeare's tragedies end with at least one death. How do his comedies end? North and Chris.
Resolved usually with marriages.
That's correct, with marriage, and that's right, for 5 points for North. What parts of a piano are tuned? North Fort Myers and Mark.
The strings?
That is incorrect. Sorry. Clewiston? And Bill?
The keys.
The keys. That's the answer we needed. Technically the keys, and that's good for 5 more for Clewiston. Published by the Gannett Company, this national newspaper makes extensive use of photos, graphs, and color graphics. What is it? North and Mark.
National Geographic?
That is incorrect. Clewiston for you only? I will. Published by the Gannett Company, this national newspaper makes extensive use of photos, graphs, and color graphics. What is it? Ellen.
USA Today?
That's right. Often referred to as McNews. It's USA Today. That's the gong. That means it's the end of the first round of the A-Team Challenge, 35 to 20. Clewiston in the lead. Again, this is the semifinal. The winner here goes on to meet Estero on the 22nd of April in prime time right here on NBC2. Let's meet the players, first of all, from Clewiston High School, and we'll begin with Ellen Hu. Ellen, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a senior at Clewiston High School, and after graduation, I plan to attend U.S.
All right, and you have so many honors because it's just a half-hour show, we don't have time to name any of them. So we'll move on to Bill Fabian.
Yes, I'm Bill. I'm a senior at Clewiston High School. I'm going to FSU, and I might minor in music.
All right. Derek Abreu, tell us about yourself, Derek.
I'm a junior at Clewiston High School, and I'm not sure I would like to go to college. I enjoy playing in the band and being on the A-Team.
What instruments do you play?
The tuba.
The tuba. You know we have a tuba-playing Weatherman here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Tim Watson. Tim?
I'm a senior at Clewiston High School, and I've been accepted to Mississippi State University.
All right. That's where a lot of our people get their meteorology degrees also, continuing on a theme. We'll meet the players from North Fort Myers after a short break. A-Team Challenge semifinal match. Stick around.
What will I do now?
Call Fire Service Disaster Cleanup for immediate help.
Northern Trust Bank, this is Anna.
Hi, Anna. It's Larry. I got a couple questions.
Yes, how may I help you?
I'm thinking about making that change in my money market fund to go to tax-exempt.
Well, given your tax bracket...
Attention. For those of you who bank at other banks, that sound you're hearing
Depends on your top
is
income
the
range.
sound of a human voice. We apologize if it startled
That
anyone.
dividend was credited to your investment account on the 9th and swept into the money market fund.
Northern Trust Bank, the private bank.
We live in a world where ecology means more than economy. Where birds perch on branches, not wires. We live in a world where the preeminent gift is a reflection of doing things right. Where do you live?
Health questions?
How can I get some information on arthritis?
Can babies have higher fevers than adults?
I need to find a family doctor. Where do I start? start here.
Lee Memorial Helpline.
Where specially trained professionals are on call 24 hours a day with answers to all your health care.
We had a question in the first round, what parts of a piano were tuned? Mark from North Fort Myers suggested it might be the strings. We deemed them incorrect. Over here at Clewiston, they said keys. We deemed them correct. The judges have decided to overrule that question provided us, so we have added 5 to North Fort Myers, taken 5 away from Clewiston. It's 30 to 25, Clewiston in the lead, and we're going to get to the 10-point round in just a moment. But first, we have to meet our players from North Fort Myers. Let's begin with Mike Muller. Mike?
I'm a junior at North High, and after graduation, I plan to attend Florida State University.
To study anything particular?
I'm not sure, but I think I might want to be a writer.
All right. Good for you. Mady Bankatar. Mady, tell us about yourself.
I'm a freshman at North Fort Myers High, and after high school career, plan to attend Stetson for law.
All right. Chris Eden, your biography, please, briefly.
I'm a senior at North Fort Myers High School, and I will be attending the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs.
All right. Good for you. Mark Henge. Mark?
Hi, I'm a senior at North High, and I'm planning on attending University of South Florida New College in the fall.
And to study what, Mark? You know yet?
Not sure.
Okay. Plenty of time to make all those important decisions. We're time for the 10-point round now. Correct answers to questions will be worth that. Hands on buzzers. And here we go. What city is located where the Yangtze River flows into the Yellow Sea? North and Mady.
Beijing.
That is incorrect. Sorry. Clewiston and Ellen.
Shanghai.
Shanghai is right. 10 points for Clewiston. What country has the most plant and animal species not found elsewhere? Clewiston and Derek.
Brazil.
That is wrong. Sorry. North for you only. Mady.
Ecuador.
It is Australia, the correct answer. Australia. For 10 points, the terms interrogative, relative, and demonstrative are types of what? Clewiston and Ellen.
Pronouns.
Pronouns is right for 10 points for Clewiston. Do you know who played third base in Abbott and Costello's Who's on First routine? North and Mark.
I don't know.
Is that your answer? You're correct. The answer to that question is, I don't know, and that's good for 10 points for North. What valuable commodity helped Houston through the Depression? Clewiston and Ellen.
Oil.
Oil is correct. 10 points for Clewiston. Is silver iodide used for tanning leather, treating diabetes, seeding clouds, or mixing paint? North Fort Myers and Mark.
Seeding clouds.
Seeding clouds is correct for 10 points. What musical instrument has a body like a tambourine and a long neck like a guitar? Clewiston and Bill.
A banjo.
A banjo is correct. 10 points for Clewiston. Something flying around here. This one-syllable German name is the short form of Johannes and the equivalent of the English name Jack. Name the name. North and Mady.
Jan.
That is wrong. Sorry. Clewiston, for you only? I can. This one-syllable German name is the short form of Johannes and the equivalent of the English name Jack. Name the name. Bill.
John.
Hans is what we needed. Hans. For 10 points, fleeing from prison on a pair of wings, the hero Icarus fell to his death when he flew too close to the sun. Why were his wings destroyed? North Fort Myers and Mark.
They were made of wax, and because he flew too close to the sun, they melted.
That would be good, and that's good for 10 points for North Fort Myers. Sunspots influence earthly weather by making it generally A, rainy, B, hotter, D, cooler, or C, cooler. Let me start it over. A, rainy, B, hotter, C, cooler, or D, dry. North and Mark.
Hotter?
That is incorrect. Sorry. Clewiston and Ellen.
C, cooler.
C, cooler is right. 10 points for Clewiston High School. Here's a math question. We'll put it on your screen at home and show it to the players here in the studio with the score 80 to 55. Simplify 1 over 3 plus the square root of 2. Clewiston and Ellen.
3 minus square root of 2 over 7.
That's correct. 3 minus the square root of 2 over 7. There's your answer, and that's good for 10 points for Clewiston. What was the first country for 10 points to be occupied by Nazi Germany? North and Mark.
Poland?
That is wrong. Clewiston. Derek.
Czechoslovakia?
We needed Austria. Austria. What percentage of the human body is water? North Fort Myers and Mark.
70%?
That's right. The same number represents the percentage of Earth covered with water, and that's good for 10 points for North. What animal's head does the Hindu god of wisdom have? North and Mark.
An elephant?
An elephant's good for 10 more for Mark in North Fort Myers. Lizards, snakes, turtles, and dinosaurs are or were ectotherms. What specifically is an ectotherm? North Fort Myers and Mark.
A cold-blooded animal?
That's correct. 10 more for Mark in North Fort Myers. Since Jefferson was a widower, who became unofficial First Lady? Clewiston and Ellen.
Dolly Madison.
That's right. During his administration, and official First Lady during the next, Dolly Madison. 10 points for Clewiston. What does a Schmidt camera take photographs of? Clewiston and Ellen.
Moving objects.
That is incorrect. I'm sorry. North, for you only. What does a Schmidt camera take photographs of? I am sorry, matey, you're late. If we can clear the buzzers. Stars is what we needed. Stars. For 10 points, the Battle of Bunker Hill was actually fought on Breed's Hill. What name is commonly given to the battle fought on Kettle Hill on July the 1st, 1898? Clewiston and Derek.
Battle of San Juan Hill?
That's right, the Battle of San Juan Hill. 10 more for Clewiston High School. It's a cacophony of sounds here in the studio for the A-Team Challenge, and that's the gong, meaning it's the end of round 2. We got a real good one trying to get into the finals here to face Estero. 110 to 85, Clewiston in the lead. Quick break. We'll be right back with a 20-point round.
Are you ready for some fresh...
Welcome back, A-Team Challenge, semifinal match, Clewiston, North Fort Myers. And we're going to move into the 20-point round now. This is where the game pretty much starts to happen. So hands on buzzers with the score of 110 to 85 Clewiston. And here we go for 20 points. A CRT communicates through a video screen. How does a TTY communicate? North and Chris.
Through a keypad?
Judges? Quickly, please. More specific information needed.
Displaying type?
All right, they'll take it. Teletype or typewriter is the specific answer. We're giving 20 points to North Fort Myers. Clear the buzzers. Here we go. Where would you find the ozone layer? North Fort Myers and Mark.
In the atmosphere?
That is incorrect. Here you go for Clewiston only. Where would you find the ozone layer? The troposphere, the stratosphere, the ionosphere, or the exosphere? Ellen.
The stratosphere.
Stratosphere is correct. 20 points for Clewiston. You only get 20 points. You only can answer once. How do you spell intercede? Bill, Clewiston.
INTERCEDE.
That's right. Intercede correctly spelled. 20 more for Clewiston. Give me the title and the author of this English novel. A cheerful, well-meaning man sets out on a journey in the company of Mr. Winkle, and on the way meets Mr. Wortle. He returns to London to find himself involved in a breach of promise suit brought by his landlady, Mrs. Bartle, through the efforts of her attorneys, Dodson and Fogg. All finally ends well. The names alone would suggest Dickens, and the answer is the Pickwick Papers. The Pickwick Papers. For 20 points, Linz, Austria is a leading port on what river? Clewiston and Derek.
The Danube?
The Danube is correct. 20 points for Clewiston. White Sands is in New Mexico. Where is White Plains? Clewiston and Derek.
New York?
That's right. It's in New York, near New York City. 20 for Clewiston. Gallaudet College is a private liberal arts college in Washington, D.C. that was established for what kind of students? Clewiston and Derek.
Deaf students?
Deaf, that's correct. Or hearing impaired. We take either, and that's good for 20 for Clewiston. Here's a math question. 9 people are planning a camping trip for 8 days. Each person is packing 48 ounces of food for each day, plus an extra ration of 1 day's food. How many total pounds of food are being taken on the trip? We do give our players a few extra seconds for the math questions as well as pencil and paper. 9 people planning a camping trip for 8 days, each person packing 48 ounces of food for each day, plus an extra ration of 1 day's food. How many total pounds of food are being taken on the trip? Clewiston and Ellen.
Oh, God.
We'll need your answer immediately.
Yeah.
Incorrect. North Fort Myers will give you a couple of seconds. £243 is the answer that we needed. For 20 points, if you flew a polar course beginning at Washington, D.C., across the North Pole, and continued without deviation, which of the following cities would you fly closest to? Chongqing, Calcutta, Moscow, or Warsaw? North, Fort Myers, and Mady.
Calcutta?
That is wrong. Sorry. Clewiston for you only. If you flew a polar course beginning at Washington, D.C. across the North Pole and continued without deviation, which of the following cities would you fly closest to? Chongqing, Derek.
Chungking?
Chongqing is right for 20 points for Clewiston. What third base brothers played against each other in the 1964 World Series? My hometown team, Cardinals, Yankees, Ken Boyer and Cletus Boyer, St. Louis and New York. For 20, if somebody called you a profligate, would he mean you were stingy, wasteful, or vain? Clewiston Ellen.
Vain.
That is wrong. Sorry, North Fort Myers. If somebody called you a profligate, would he mean you are stingy, wasteful, or vain? Mady.
Wasteful?
Wasteful's right, 20 for North. James Michener wrote a novel about it the same year it became a state. North and Mike.
Hawaii?
Hawaii is correct, 20 for North Fort Myers. Who was the economic advisor to Louis XIV? Clewiston and Ellen.
Robespierre.
That is incorrect, sorry. North. And Mark.
Descartes.
Jean Colbert. Jean Colbert. If you robbed a bank in Salt Lake City and wanted to get out of Utah as soon as possible, to what state would you drive for 20 points? Clewiston and Ellen.
Wyoming.
Wyoming is right, 20 for Clewiston. It's a sleeveless garment fastened at the throat and worn hanging over the shoulders, or a point of land projecting into water. Clewiston and Ellen.
Cape.
Cape is correct, 20 for Clewiston. She became the first black woman to win an Oscar. She did so for the role of Mammy in Gone with the Wind. Ellen, Clewiston.
Hattie McDaniel.
Hattie McDaniel is right for 20. The United States acquired from Mexico almost 30,000 square miles of land down to the Rio Grande in 1853. As a result, Mady and North Fort Myers.
The Gadsden Purchase?
That's the transaction, and that's 20 points for North Fort Myers. Many actors are noted for their ability to ad-lib. What does ad-lib mean? North and Mark. That's right, to depart from the script using impromptu lines. 20 for North. Here's a math question. Tell me which of the following, we're not going to get to it because that's the end of regulation. Semifinal match, 290 to 185. Clewiston with the lead as we go into what we call final exam. That's our version of Final Jeopardy. Let's bring the alternates up. From North Fort Myers, Evan Henge and Yusef Benkatar. And from Clewiston High School, we've got Kristen Pluth and Drew Worrells. We will tell you today that our final exam category is language arts, and we're going to give you a couple more seconds to write down how much you wish to risk, and we'll take this opportunity to remind you that Estero has already won a semifinal game in the A-Team Challenge. In the finals on April 22nd, in prime time here on NBC2, they will meet one of these two schools. We will ask you to give me your risks now. I have Clewiston. I think I know what yours might be. We got them. We're ready to go for final exam. Again, the category language arts, and here's the question for our players and for our studio audience and for you at home. The knowledge of old Dutch legends and customs which the author picked up from his rambles gave some of his best material. Works which endeared him to the American public all have their setting in picturesque old New York State where he was born. Identify this author who created the character of Ichabod Crane. You will have 2 minutes and we'll be right back. Welcome back now. Time for final exam. Clewiston versus North Fort Myers, endeavoring to move on to the finals of the A-Team Challenge. Once again, that will be a Saturday, April the 22nd in prime time here on NBC2. It will follow NBA basketball, so on that night you will not be seeing the Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. You'll be seeing NBA basketball and the finals of the A-Team Challenge. All right, 290 to 185. Clewiston in the lead. The final exam category, language arts. And here's the question for everybody at home and for the people here in our audience. The knowledge of old Dutch legends and customs, which the author picked up from his rambles, gave some of his best material. Works which endeared him to the American public all have their setting in picturesque old New York State where he was born. Identify this author who created the character of Ichabod Crane. That should have an I instead of an E. Let's begin with Estero with 185, and their answer, Washington Irving. That's correct. They wisely risked I'm sorry, North Fort Myers. It's the red and the black. It gets me all thrown off. Thank you. They wisely answered Washington Irving, and that's good for their 100, giving them a total of 285. Over to Clewiston with 290 points. Their answer also Washington Irving. They more wisely didn't risk anything, giving them a total of 290. So the final today, Clewiston 290, North Fort Myers 285. Clewiston, congratulations. You're in the finals of the A-Team Challenge. You will take on Estero. That was a Freudian slip before. Excellent effort by North Fort Myers, and we'll see you in 2001. We thank you for watching. Again, April the 22nd, after basketball, go on NBC2, the finals, and it will be Clewiston versus Estero. I'm NBC2 News anchor Craig Wolf. Thanks for watching the A-Team Challenge, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.